My precious one, I brought you here. This is not a moment you wandered into by chance. I called you and something in you answered. The miracle you have been weeping over in the quiet hours when no one was watching, the one you have cried out for in the dark, that miracle has already been released from heaven. It already carries your name. It already has your address. And I brought you to this moment so you could hear it from me directly. Do not leave. Stay here with me. Because what I am about to speak into you can change everything. I know your pain, every single part of it. I saw every tear you believed went unnoticed. I heard every prayer you whispered when your strength gave out, and all you could manage was to breathe my name. I was there in the middle of the night when you lay awake asking whether I still saw you. I was there. I have always been there. And today, I am telling you plainly, your season of waiting is turning. What seemed distant is close. Closer than you have allowed yourself to believe. I know there are nights when you questioned whether I truly hear you, whether your silent cries reach me. Let me answer that right now. Every single one reaches me. I have not missed one sigh. I have not overlooked one sleepless night. I have not been unaware of a single moment when you carried more than you should have been carrying alone. I see it all. I know the full weight of it, and I am not unmoved. You matter to me with a depth that human language does not have the reach to fully express. Declare your amen if you have faith. Your miracle does not depend on how perfectly you have prayed. It does not depend on how many hours you spent on your knees or whether your faith has been steady every single day. It depends on my grace, and my grace is bigger than every failure you have ever accumulated. My grace reached you before you even knew to look for me. Before you ever said my name, I had already written yours into the palms of my hands. You are mine. You have always been mine. And nothing, no failure, no distance, no darkness, no enemy can remove you from my hands. The enemy has tried to convince you otherwise. He has whispered that you have gone too far, that the gap between us is too wide to close, that what is broken in you is beyond what I can repair. He lied. He always lies, because he knows the truth that he does not want you to discover. The day you fully understand what my grace means for you, his influence over your life is finished. You have been trying to hold everything together by your own strength. I have watched you do it. The sleepless nights, the weight on your shoulders, the effort to keep moving forward when every part of you wanted to stop. I saw you get up when getting up made no sense. I watched you keep going when stopping would have been easier. That took real strength. But hear me now. You were never designed to carry it alone. You were made to walk with me, to let me carry what is too heavy for your shoulders, to lean into my strength when yours is finished. Your strength has limits. Mine does not. Your resources can run out. Mine never will. Your understanding reaches a ceiling. Mine has no end. And I want to give you freely from everything I have, because that is what a father does for a child he loves completely. Do you remember what it felt like to be young and afraid of the dark? Do you remember running to someone who loved you and feeling every fear dissolve the moment you were held? I am your heavenly Father. My arms are open for you right now. It does not matter what you have done, how far you have wandered, or how long it has been since you felt close to me. My arms have not moved. My love has not dimmed. Every single morning I have been waiting for you, ready to hold you the moment you come. My love for you was never built on your performance. It was never earned by your faithfulness or forfeited by your failures. It simply exists, and it always has. Before your first breath, before you had done anything at all, I already loved you with the fullness of who I am. That love did not change on your worst day. It did not flinch in your darkest season. It followed you even when you turned away from me, quietly, patiently, waiting for you to turn back. Say, "I believe," if this word is reaching your spirit. I need you to understand something about this moment. What you are walking through right now is not your final chapter. Not even close. I am the God of new beginnings. I am the God who takes what the enemy sent to destroy you and turns it into the most powerful testimony anyone has ever heard. I am the God who builds something more beautiful from broken pieces than could ever have existed without the breaking. Not a patched version of the old, something entirely new. You have been looking at your life and seeing what it is. I am looking at your life and seeing what it is about to become. Those are two very different pictures. What looked like a delay was never a denial. I was working behind what you could see. You could not watch it happening, but I was arranging everything. I was moving people, timing circumstances into position. Not one day of your waiting was wasted. Not one tear was meaningless. Not one night of pain passed without purpose. I use everything. I waste nothing. Every season you have endured, including the ones that hurt most, has been woven by my hand into something that is going to astonish you. I need you to stop measuring my power by the size of what you are facing. What feels unmovable to you is not unmovable to me. What looks like a wall with no door is not a wall without a door to me. I am the God who opened the sea when there was no other way through. I am the God who brought life back to what was completely dead. I am the God who took a young boy with nothing but a stone and a strip of leather and brought down a giant that a whole army was terrified to approach. That same God is here, fully present, fully engaged, moving on your behalf right now. Think of Joseph, sold by his own brothers, falsely accused, imprisoned for years without having done anything wrong. Every door shut, every hope deferred. Every day looked like the end of the story, but every single day in that darkness was shaping him for a palace. Every injustice was forming the character of a man who would stand before kings. What his enemies meant for his ruin, I turned into the road that led him to his destiny. He did not see it from inside the prison, but I saw it from the beginning. That is what I am doing with you. Every hard season has been part of your preparation. Every closed door pointed toward the right one. Every person who left made room for someone I am bringing. Every no you received protected you from what would have held you back from the yes I had already prepared for you. You could not see the pattern from inside it. I have seen it from the beginning, and the pattern is more beautiful than you know. Let me speak now about time, about the gap between the asking and the receiving, because I know that gap has tested you. You have prayed for something and expected an immediate answer. You asked for a miracle and looked for it the next day. You have grown tired of waiting and wondered whether the waiting itself is a sign that the answer is no. It is not no. It has never been no. When I cause you to wait, it is never because I have forgotten you. It is because I am preparing both you and the answer at the same time. What I am giving you now requires the version of you that the process has built. If I had given it to you the first time you asked, you may not have been ready to hold it wisely. The waiting built capacity in you. The difficulty developed depth in you. The trials refined what was already inside you. And what came through is something precious. I think in generations. I plan for eternity. I am not only solving your immediate situation, I am establishing a foundation that your children and your children's children will stand on. When I take time, it is because what I am building is meant to last far beyond your own lifetime. Now that season of preparation is complete. Everything I arranged in the hidden places is ready to step into the visible. Your moment has arrived. Not next year. Not after some other condition is met. Now. In this breath. In this surrender. There is something else the enemy has hidden from you. Something about the nature of faith itself. He has tried to make you believe that faith is passive. That it is simply holding on quietly, waiting for something to happen from the outside. But real faith is active. It moves, it declares, it takes what already belongs to it by right. Real faith does not beg. Real faith stands in my word and says, "This is mine, because my Father said so." That kind of faith moves mountains. That kind of faith unlocks what has been sealed. That kind of faith does not accept permanent defeat, because it knows my word is final, and my word speaks life. I want that kind of faith to rise in you. I want you to stop confessing your problems as though they define your future. Your problems are not the final word. I am the final word, and what I have said over your life is victory, wholeness, abundance, and purpose. Speak those things. Not because speaking them makes them more true, they are already true, but because speaking them aligns your spirit with what I have already done on your behalf. Your words matter. What comes out of your mouth creates an atmosphere. What you magnify grows in your perception and experience. Stop making the enemy large and me small in your thinking. Magnify me. Let my greatness fill your inner world until fear finds no room to settle, until doubt has nowhere to rest. I am larger than every problem you are facing. I am more powerful than every force that has come against you. I am more faithful than the longest delay has tried to make you believe. Your current situation does not write your final chapter. Where you are now is not where you are going. I know the full road from beginning to end, because I was present at the beginning, and I am already present at the end. What is waiting for you on the other side of this season is worth every step you have taken through the dark to reach it. My precious one, there is an action I am calling you to right now. Not because I need anything from you, but because a faith that only lives in your thoughts never fully lands in your life. I am asking you to make your trust visible with something real. Release a portion of what is in your hand. Place it as a seed into this work, the way the widow of Zarephath placed her last handful of flour before she had seen a single sign of provision. She had almost nothing. What she gave made no sense by human reasoning, but she obeyed, and the flour did not run out. The oil did not stop. Day after day, week after week, my supply came. That is the law of the seed. What you release in trust, I return in abundance. Sow into what I am doing here. Place it on the altar of my purpose, and watch closely what I do next in your life. Let me tell you something about who I am, because the enemy has distorted the picture of me in your mind, and I want to correct it. He has painted me as distant, as a God who sets rules and watches from far off to see whether you meet them, as a God who is disappointed in you more often than he is pleased, as a God whose love has terms and conditions you must constantly be earning. That is not who I am. I am your Father, not a courtroom judge looking for reasons to rule against you. A Father who sees you, knows you fully, and loves you without condition or reservation. My love for you does not switch off when you fail. It does not grow cold when you doubt. It does not retreat when you are at your worst. It remains steady, faithful, immovable, because that is the nature of what I am. I am the same yesterday, today, and always. My promises do not expire. My word does not change to match the mood of the season. What I spoke over your life when I formed you in the hidden place, I am still speaking now. Every word of it still stands. None of it has been revised or recalled. The plans I have for you, plans for a future and a hope, are not plans I made lightly. They are plans I have held across your entire life, through every detour and every failure and every season where it looked like everything was going in the wrong direction. And here is something you need to hear clearly. I do not require your perfection. I never did. I do not need you to have it all sorted before I can bless you. I need one thing from you: trust, surrender. A heart that says, I cannot do this on my own, and I am no longer going to try. That kind of surrender is not weakness. It is the most powerful position you can stand in, because when you step out of the way, I step fully in. And when I step in, nothing remains impossible. You have been holding the weight of things that were never yours to hold. Expectations that belong to others. Fears about what tomorrow might bring. Questions about whether you are enough for what is coming. The worry that if you stop straining, everything will collapse. Let me be clear about something. The things that are truly mine to do in your life will not collapse when you release your white-knuckled grip on them. They will flourish, because they were never being held in place by your effort. They were being held by my hand, and they still are. Rest, not as passivity. Rest as the active, deliberate choice to trust me enough to stop carrying what I never asked you to carry. That rest is available to you right now, not after you have resolved everything. Now, in the middle of the unresolved. Because my peace is not something I give when the storm is over. I give it in the middle of the storm. That is what makes it different from anything the world offers. The world gives relief when circumstances improve. I give peace that holds steady while the circumstances are still shifting. Because it is not based on the circumstances. It is based on who I am. I see the dreams you quietly set aside. The ones you tucked away because you were afraid of being disappointed again. The hopes you stopped voicing because it hurt too much to want something that did not come. I place those desires inside you, not as a cruel joke, not as impossible things to torment you with. I place them there as signposts, pointing toward the life I designed you for. Those dreams are not dead. They are not buried beyond recovery. They are simply waiting. And the waiting is almost over. When I bring them to life, and I will, you will understand why the timing was what it was. You will see that I was not withholding from you. I was preparing you for the full experience of what I had in mind. Nothing I give you arrives before you are able to receive it well, and you are ready now in ways you were not before. The waiting was not cruelty. It was kindness. Painful kindness, yes, but kindness nonetheless. Now let me tell you what the enemy has been doing. He has worked hard to keep you confused about who you are. For a long time, voices have told you that you are not enough, that you are too broken, that your past is a mark against you that cannot be removed, that the life you want is for other people, not for you. These were not random thoughts. They were targeted attacks against a specific truth. Because the enemy knows that the day you fully walk in that truth, his hold on your life is over. Your true identity is not formed by what you have done or failed to do. It is not built from what others have said about you. It does not come from your successes or your failures or the chapters of your story you wish you could take back. Your true identity was decided by me before you were born. And I decided well. You are my child. You carry my spirit. You are a vessel of the living God. That means you have authority. You have power. You have inheritance in this kingdom that goes far beyond what the natural eye can see. The attacks have been strong because what I have prepared for you is significant. The enemy pushes hardest when the breakthrough is closest. He fights most fiercely right before the shift comes. The pressure you have been under is not evidence that you are losing. It is evidence that your victory is very near. Do not quit now. Do not let go of your trust right when I am about to move on your behalf. I want to speak to you about how I work, because I do not always come in the form you expect. You may have a picture in your mind of how your miracle should arrive, through what person or event or timing. And sometimes, my children miss what I am doing because they are watching for one shape, and I arrive in a completely different one. Keep your spirit open. Stay sensitive to my voice. Stay alert to what I place in your path, even when it looks ordinary. I work through people, through conversations that seem casual but are actually arranged, through opportunities that open in unexpected places, through ideas that arrive at unexpected moments, through what the world calls coincidence. I am in the detail. I am in the moment when things align in ways no human hand could have arranged. Learn to see me there. When you do, anxiety loses its power over you. The need to control every outcome begins to release. You begin to rest, truly rest, in the knowledge that your Father has this. All of it. State, I trust if you believe this belongs to your life today. I want to speak now about something you may have stopped asking for. Something you quietly set aside because the asking had hurt too many times. You told yourself perhaps it was not meant for you. Perhaps you had misread things. Perhaps hope was a luxury you could no longer afford. Hear me. You did not misread it. I have not forgotten a single request you brought to me in faith. Not one. I hold them all, and many of them are now very close to their answer. You asked for healing. Healing is yours. You asked for provision when the numbers made no sense. Provision is already moving toward you. You asked for restoration in something that felt irreparably broken. Nothing is beyond my ability to restore. You asked for a way forward when every road looked closed. I am the God who makes roads in the wilderness, rivers in the desert, and doors in walls that had no doors before I spoke to them. Nothing you are facing is too large for me. Not the thing that keeps you awake. Not the situation that has dragged on for years. Not the body that has not responded. Not the finances that look beyond repair. For me, what looks like an unmovable mountain to you is something I move with a word. What looks like an uncrossable sea to you, I walk through alongside you. That is not poetry. That is simply who I am. The miracle I am releasing into your life is not only meant to solve one problem, it is meant to show you who I really am. Not a distant God in a distant place. The God who is here, right here, close enough to feel. The God who walks beside you. The God who knows the full weight of what you have been carrying and has come to take it. I do not want to be your emergency contact only. I want to be your daily companion. Tell me your joy, not just your pain. Include me in your plans, not just your crises. Bring me your dreams alongside your burdens. I want to be part of every moment of your life, not only the ones where everything has fallen apart. I created you for closeness with me. Before anything was broken, before the separation, there was a closeness that was natural and full and uninterrupted. That is what I am restoring. Not just your circumstances, your connection with me. Because everything else flows from there. Every good thing in your life has its ultimate source in how closely you are walking with me. You are not the same person who entered this hard season. You know things now that you could not have learned any other way. You have depths in you now that comfort alone could never have produced. You have a faith that has been proved in real fire. And that kind of faith carries authority that borrowed faith never has. Do not be ashamed of what you went through. Those chapters are not your disgrace. They are your credential. They are what give you the right to speak into the life of someone who is still in the middle of what you survived. Declare, I receive this today, if your heart is open. Your miracle is not only for you. Everything I do with a larger purpose in mind. I bless one person so that blessing flows outward. I lifted David so that a nation could be led. I elevated Joseph so that a generation could be fed. I positioned Esther so that a people could be saved. And I am lifting you so that something greater than your own need alone can be served through your life. You are going to be a voice of genuine hope for someone who is losing theirs. You are going to be living proof that I still move, still heal, still restore, still make roads through places that had no road before. Your story will carry weight precisely because it is real. Because you lived in the dark before you stepped into the light. Because you know what it truly feels like to wait and wonder and nearly give up, and you came through it anyway. That kind of testimony does not just inspire people, it transfers faith. When you speak from that place, something moves in the spirit of whoever is listening. Now I want to take you to the heart of what the enemy has fought hardest to keep you from understanding. Your identity, who you actually are. He has worked for years to install a false picture of yourself inside you. He has used the voices of people who did not know your full story. He has used your own failures and the shame that came with them. He has used seasons of rejection and disappointment, all of it aimed at one goal, making you believe you are small, that you do not carry anything significant, that better things are reserved for others. But hear me now, you are not small. You are not ordinary in the sense the enemy has used that word against you. You are my child. You carry my spirit. You are a vessel of the living God, and that means you carry authority that goes beyond what the natural eye can measure. The enemy knows exactly what you carry. That is precisely why he fights so hard to make you forget it. Your miracle is not just a change of circumstances. It is a change of identity. It is moving from seeing yourself as a victim to walking as someone who overcomes. From living like an orphan to walking as a child who knows their father. From holding out your hand for scraps to sitting at a table that was fully set for you. Many of my children live far below what I designed for them, not because I withheld it, but because they accepted a picture of themselves that was never true. They live like strangers in a house they actually own. You are not a stranger here. You are not on the outside looking in. You are the child for whom the table was set. The inheritance was prepared for you. The blessing carries your name. Walk in as who you are, not with arrogance, with the quiet, settled confidence of someone who knows exactly who their father is and exactly how much that father loves them. I say you are valued. I say you are chosen. I say you are capable of far more than you have allowed yourself to believe. I say you are the one I delight in. When you begin to believe what I say about you rather than what the enemy has planted in your thinking, everything shifts. The way you carry yourself changes. The way you speak changes. The way you expect changes. Because you stop living from a posture of defeat and begin moving from a posture of inheritance. Not everyone is chosen for that kind of assignment. You are. You were set apart for it before you were born. The process you have walked through was not random suffering. It was your formation, your equipping. You now carry something that cannot be taught in a classroom. You carry understanding that was built through experience, compassion that was born in real pain, authority that was forged in genuine trial. Those three things together make you someone through whom I can move in genuinely powerful ways. The people I am sending toward your life are already in motion. The opportunities I am opening are already unlocking. The provision is already in transit. The peace I am placing over your home is close enough now to sense. None of this is something you will need to strain to produce. It will come as the natural overflow of a life surrendered to me. That is always how my abundance moves. Not through striving, through trusting. I need you to expand what you believe I am capable of doing, not out of greed, but because many of my children accept far less than I intend for them. Disappointment has trained them to hope small. Pain has taught them to keep their expectations low, so the falling does not hurt as much. I understand how that happened. But I am asking you now to believe again. Not in your ability to hold on, in my ability to deliver. Those are very different foundations to stand on. I am the God who formed galaxies with a word. I am the God who breathed life into dust and created a living soul. I am the God who holds every sea in the hollow of my hand. And this same God, this same power, is fully directed toward your situation right now. Your problem is not large to me. It has never been. It never will be. Your words carry more power than you realize. What you speak over yourself creates an atmosphere. I need you to stop declaring what you see and start declaring what I say. Stop confessing your problems as though they're permanent. Start confessing my promises as though they are already yours, because on my end, they already are. Stop making the enemy look large in your thinking and me look small. Magnify me. Let my greatness fill the space in your inner life until fear finds no room to settle, until doubt has no corner to rest in. The change I am bringing into your life begins inside you before it appears outside you. That is always how it works, and that shift is already happening. Right now, as these words reach the deep places in you, something is moving. Your faith is growing. Your hope is being rebuilt. A new certainty is settling where uncertainty once lived. That is the beginning of the miracle, not the end. The beginning. My beloved, I want to say something now about the people who have hurt you. The ones who left when they should have stayed. The ones who spoke words over you that were not true, and that you carried far longer than they deserved. The ones who took advantage of your trust. I know the list. I know each name. And I need you to hear me clearly on this. Carrying that bitterness is a weight that was never yours to carry. It does not bind them. It only weighs on you. And I did not create you for that kind of slow heaviness. I am not asking you to pretend what they did was acceptable. It was not. I am asking you to release the right to carry their debt. Hand it to me. Let me be the one who deals with it. When you release it, something in you unlocks. Something held tightly for a long time begins to breathe again. And in that open space, I can bring something far better than bitterness ever offered you. You were not built for a life of simply surviving. You were made for a life of genuinely living, a life of meaning, of purpose, of deep and settled joy that does not rise and fall with circumstances. That life is not locked behind a door you cannot find. It is the life I am actively moving you toward right now. I have prepared relationships for you that will be unlike anything you have had before. Connections that carry real depth. People who will see what is in you and call it forward, rather than suppress it. A sense of belonging that you may have all but given up on finding. These are coming. Some are already very close. And when they arrive, you will feel the difference immediately, because they will carry the quality of something arranged, which is exactly what they are. I have prepared opportunities for you that fit precisely who I made you to be, not generic chances, specifically designed moments, doors shaped around your particular calling like a key fits a lock. When they appear, They will not feel like effort. They will feel like finally, like stepping into something you were born for, because you will be. Now let me speak to you about the law that governs my kingdom, the law of the seed and the harvest, because understanding this will change how you see every act of giving you have ever done, and every act of giving I am about to ask of you. What you sow, you reap. That is not a vague spiritual idea. It is a precise kingdom law that operates with the same reliability as any law in the natural world. If you sow generosity, you reap abundance. If you sow love, you reap love, returned and multiplied. If you sow faithfulness in the small things, you reap responsibility in the larger things. This law never fails. I built it into the fabric of how my kingdom works, and I have been watching you sow. I saw when you gave your last to someone who had less. I saw when you shared even when you barely had enough for yourself. I saw when you offered your time and your energy, when you were already running empty. I saw when you planted seeds of kindness in moments when no one else was watching. Those seeds went into the ground, and they did not die there. Seeds never die in my soil. They wait. They develop underground, where the eye cannot see the growth. And then, at the right moment, they push through. Your harvest is pushing through right now, not in a trickle, in the abundance that only I can pour. I do not bless in small measures. When I open my hand over a life that has been faithful in the sowing, I open it fully. What you planted through years of faithfulness is about to come back multiplied beyond what you planted. That is my promise. That is my nature. And the blessing I am releasing is not only for you. I think in cycles. I bless one so that one can bless many. I lifted Joseph so he could feed a nation. I honored Abram so that all the families of the earth could be reached through him. When I lift you, the blessing does not stop at you. It flows through you to your children, to the people I place in your life who need what you carry, to generations who have not yet been born, but who will stand on the foundation you are building right now through your faithfulness. Your obedience in this season is building something that will outlast you. The decisions you are making to trust me, to keep going, to refuse to give up, those are not just personal decisions. They are generational ones, and they matter far more than you can currently see. Now I want to speak directly to the weariness in you, the particular kind of tired that comes not just from physical exhaustion, but from years of carrying weight that was always too heavy for one person to bear. The weariness that comes from fighting battles that seem to have no end, from hoping and being disappointed and hoping again, from getting up so many times that getting up itself began to feel like the only thing you knew how to do. I see that weariness. I know exactly what it feels like to you, and I am not standing at a distance observing it with detachment. It moves me. You move me. Your faithfulness in the middle of that exhaustion, the fact that you are still here, still seeking, still reaching toward me even when the reaching itself took everything you had, that is not small to me. That is remarkable. That is the quality of soul that I know how to use. But I do not want you to keep running on empty. I want to fill what has been drained. I want to restore what the long seasons took. I want to give back to you, not just the miracle you have been waiting for in your circumstances. Strength, joy, the lightness that comes when a burden is genuinely lifted. The ability to laugh again without it feeling like pretending. The capacity to hope without immediately bracing for disappointment. These things belong to you. I am bringing them. I am also bringing people. I know that some of the loneliness you have carried has been the loneliness of feeling like no one truly understood what you were going through. Like you had to keep the real weight of it hidden, because sharing it fully would be too much for those around you. I know that feeling. And I want to tell you that I am sending someone who will understand. Someone who has been through something similar. Someone who will recognize what you have carried and not flinch from it. The isolation that the hard seasons created is not your permanent condition. Community is coming. Genuine, deep, safe community. The kind where you can put down the performance and simply be known. Do not close yourself off to what I am sending just because the last people you trusted let you down. My faithfulness is not limited by human faithlessness. What people failed to be for you, I am able to provide through other people. The right people. People I chose specifically with your particular needs in mind. Open your heart. Not carelessly, but open it. Because what I am placing in your path is worth being open to receive. You were never meant to do this alone. I never designed that for you. I designed you for relationship with me, and for relationship with others who carry my spirit. And both of those things are being restored in you right now. The walls that went up to protect you from further hurt are coming down. Not all at once. Gently. One stone at a time. Because I know how long it took to build them, and I will not be careless with the trust it takes to dismantle them. Trust me with this too. Trust me with the tender places, with the parts of your story you have protected most carefully, with the hopes you barely dare to hold. I can be trusted with all of it. I have always been trustworthy. And this time, on the other side of your surrender, you are going to discover that in a way that removes any remaining doubt. There is a lightness waiting for you on the other side of this surrender that you have not felt in a long time. A kind of freedom that comes when you stop trying to manage every outcome and simply trust the one who holds them all. I'm not asking you to become passive or to stop using the wisdom and ability I gave you. I'm asking you to stop using those things in isolation from me. To stop running the whole operation alone when your father is standing right here, ready to partner with you in everything. Bring me your plans. Bring me your questions. Bring me your decisions before you make them, and after when they did not go as you hoped. Bring me your joy in the ordinary moments, not only your cry in the desperate ones. Let me be woven into the fabric of your daily life, not only the crisis moments. Because that is the kind of relationship that changes everything. Not a God you call in for emergencies. A God who is simply present, always, the quiet and steady anchor of every moment of your life. That is what I am offering you today. Not just a miracle. Me. All of me. For all of you. And everything that flows from that is more than you have yet been able to imagine. Let me leave this final truth in the deepest part of your spirit. You came into this moment carrying something. A weariness. A question that would not go away. A hope that had been battered but never quite extinguished. You came with a remnant of faith that survived everything that tried to kill it. And that remnant, that small, persistent, undefeated flicker, that is what I respond to. That is all I needed. Not a mountain of faith. A mustard seed. And you have far more than a mustard seed. You have the faith that survived a journey most people would have abandoned. That faith is not small. It is rare. It is powerful. And I move on behalf of that kind of faith. Let me tell you about the season ahead, not in vague generalities, in specifics. Because I want you to know what you are walking into. The confusion that has clouded your thinking is lifting. The fog that made the next step impossible to see is clearing. You are going to begin to hear my voice with greater clarity than you have had before. Not because I will suddenly start speaking more loudly, because your inner ear is being tuned. The noise that distracted you is diminishing, and in the quiet that remains, my voice is going to be unmistakable. The closed doors are opening. not just one. Several things that felt permanently blocked are being unlocked right now. Some of them you have stopped expecting. Some of them surprised even you that you were still hoping for them. But I remembered every one, and I have been working on every one. The timing is converging. The season is aligning. Things are about to move. The people I am removing from your path were holding you back, even when you did not fully see it. The ones I am sending toward you are specifically fitted for who you are becoming. You will recognize them. You will feel the quality of what I built into those connections. They will not feel like coincidence. They will feel like answered prayer, which is exactly what they are. The provision you have been waiting for is already in motion. Some of it is going to arrive in forms you would not have predicted. Keep your eyes open. Keep your spirit discerning. What I send does not always arrive wearing the label you expected. But when it comes, you will know. Something in you will recognize the hand behind it. And through all of it, through every open door, and every answered prayer, and every restored relationship, and every provision that arrives, keep your heart postured toward me. Let the blessings increase your gratitude rather than your self-reliance. Let every miracle point you back to the one who performed it, because that is the rhythm of the abundant life. Receiving, then giving thanks, then giving out, then receiving again. A continuous cycle of my goodness flowing through a life fully surrendered to me. That is the life you are stepping into. Not perfect, not without challenge, but grounded, purposeful, full, alive in a way you have not felt in a very long time. And it begins right here, right now, in this moment of yes. The path ahead is becoming clear, not all at once. I never show the entire road at once because the full scope of it would overwhelm you. But the next step is visible, and the step after that will come into view when you take this one. That is how I lead. One faithful step at a time, always close enough to guide, always present enough to steady you when you stumble. Everything I have promised, I will bring to pass. Every word I have spoken over your life is still fully true and fully available to you. Every tear you have sown will produce a harvest of joy that outweighs the weight of what it cost you. Every night of darkness was only the setting in which your breakthrough was being prepared. The morning is here, not a morning that fades back into darkness. A permanent new day. Go forward from this moment knowing that you do not walk alone. You never did, and you never will. The love that followed you through every closed door and every season of waiting is walking ahead of you into everything that comes next. Making the road straight. Preparing what you have not yet seen. Opening doors you did not know to ask for. I hold you, I see you, I delight in you. And what I have begun in your life I will bring to its full and glorious completion. That is not a wish, that is my word. And my word does not return empty. Say yes if you are ready to walk forward.
We run on viewer support only. For exclusive member-only content, scan the QR or see the pinned comment. God bless you.